Hello everybody! Welcome back to Toxic Geek Gaming. Starting off, sorry it has been so long since we've actually been able to do a video. Obviously we've been doing the wedding. All that stuff was really fun. If you guys didn't check it out, there was a VOD. I don't know if it's still up or not. Of the wedding and the chaos that went on with that, but it was a lot of fun. Right after that, of course, we got everything going on, dealing with a bunch of stuff, and then headed off to Gencon for our honeymoon. So this was the second year that we actually went to Gencon. The first year we worked. Since this was our honeymoon, we didn't work this one. It did cost a little bit more since we weren't working. Of course, our badges, we had to buy those. We had to get the hotel room. Where while we were working, we were pretty much provided all of that stuff. And from here on out, more than likely we will be working. We work with a company that makes foam weapons and things like that during Gen Con. I personally know the guy that runs the booth there. He does really well. He makes sure that we're well taken care of whenever we do work for him. Awesome guy. So if you guys do go to Gen Con, you'll probably hear they keep changing the name every year. But basically, it's build your own foam weapons. There's also chainmail classes they teach, leatherworking classes, all done by the same booth.
And
so
they also do the big foam weapons.
Yes, big foam weapons is the other
make
one.
Your own foam weapons.
So
it's something you actually like.
If you guys go to Gen Con and want to check us out or check out what we're doing, more than likely that's where we will be at least for 4 to 5 hours a day, helping run the booth and help set stuff up. It was really cool. So the first thing that I actually want to talk about as far as Gen Con, so we did get 4-day passes. We showed up early Thursday. Gen Con actually started Friday. Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. Sorry. It started Thursday and went till Sunday. We showed up Wednesday because we did the will call. Basically, we had to go stand in line, wait for our badges, and get all of our tickets that we bought. Really recommend that because that's how you can actually start meeting a lot of new people. And because we went up so early, we actually got to run into a pretty big YouTuber named Nelly. You can check her out at Nelly's Nerdy Adventure. Definitely want to give her a shout out. She tells you what you need for conventions, honestly.
Especially if you have anxiety.
Yeah, especially anxiety people, anything like that. She will help you out through going through conventions and especially Gen Con. She is well known in the Gen Con market. Her man helps organize everything at Gen Con. So he's the big event planner. So check her channel out. I am giving her a big shout out because she did help us stay organized. And I'm actually in one of her first videos at Gen Con during the will call that we were in. Because we happened to see her and I yelled at her and kind of talked to her for just a brief moment while she was running by trying to help things out. So really cool person. And so most of you guys know our channels basically on video games, things like that. And everybody knows this is the year for Gears 5. That's what I keep saying. Gears 5, Gears 5, Gears 5. Well, in board games term, not as far as everything else goes, this is the year for Pathfinder. So, if you guys don't know, Pathfinder 2nd Edition came out. It launched the first day of Gen Con. Roll20, an online virtual tabletop program that I use a lot, launched in partner with them to make sure that they could get their book day one. They were also set up there doing a lot of stuff, and because they were, yes, thank you, Dark staying off screen, you kind of hand me a bunch of stuff. So, first bit of loot, we got a free map, and on the back, it's got a code that I can actually go put in, so I can get this map online through Roll20. So, there's your kind of the little symbols there. So, Roll20 2nd Edition for Pathfinder. So, they partnered. Excellent program too, guys. If you guys haven't ever used it and you guys like tabletop RPGs such as Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, check them out. They are great. The second thing I want to talk about too, while we're still on the topics of tabletops, I don't have the paper with me, so I can't really show you too much, but it's really cool. I got to talk to a bunch of people that are making a program called Master Toolkit. So Roll20 is great if you're going to play with online communities spread around the world or long distances. Excellent company to work with. If you are the type of group that sits at the table and actually role plays with actual maps or miniatures or anything like that, but you want to bring it to the next level, Master Toolkit, Arkan Forge Games, I think is what their website was. And they're working on a bunch of different sets right now. They're still fairly new, but what it is, it's an offline setup that is slightly a bit more intuitive because it is offline, that you can actually go and make your tabletops come to life. Fog of War, things like that, doing dual screens so they get the DM screen and then you got what the players see. Awesome company. I spent at least an hour sitting there talking to the guy that was demoing that and talking to them. So check out Ark Forged if you guys want to do tabletops on a TV. They awesome company, guys, and they will definitely bring your tabletops alive. So speaking of us going up a day before Gen Con. So a day before Gen Con, they do unofficial events. Basically meaning events that Gen Con knows about, but are not necessarily ran through Gen Con. So the big one that a lot of people are starting to learn about, and this was their 10th year doing it, is called the Stink. It's basically just a meet and greet. They do a little like, hey, go around see how many people do this, go around see how many people do this. Really cool to talk about people with that. We got some free dice from the Stink that were D6s that actually said the Stink on them. And that's also where we got to get a lot of our ribbons. So this is something else I want to point out too. If you guys are ever wanting to go to Gen Con, make sure to really keep an eye out for ribbon hunting and button hunting. So they have a button trader program if you want to do that. It's a little bit more in depth than what we did. We just kind of got a bunch of free buttons and ran with it, which was really fun for us. But the few that, there we go. Like I said, off screen, getting handed stuff. Awesome. So here's the D6s that we got from the Stink. So I'll kind of go right there if it'll focus on it. Come on, camera, focus. Focus, camera.
Put your hand behind it, like.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
There you go. So, as you can see, it says the Stink with a sword through it. So the theme about the Stink this year was Game of Thrones. So everything was about Game of Thrones, and it was really, really cool. And while we were at the Stink as well, I got to talk to another company. So this company put little bitty cup holders on the tables. They're actual like thick leather, like really good cup things to take cups on, like on the tables. And this company is called Carolina Game Tables. So Carolina Game Tables, what this is,
South Carolina.
Yeah, what this basically is game board tables at a reasonable price. So the guy that is making these is a like 5th year, 6th year furniture maker that from generations, not year, but generations. And he sells them at a reasonable price compared to a lot of the other companies. And what is really cool too is being the furniture maker, he's got a lot of intuitive stuff that a lot of people don't put into game tables. Like the cup holders built in instead of off to the side for you to run into. He's got a few add-ons that most people aren't putting on their tables, such as like he's working on a bench right now for storage. Things like that are all tied in together. Awesome guy. And the other big thing about this company too is they were doing a Savage World demos. If you guys don't know what Savage World is, it's another type of tabletop, similar to Dungeons & Dragons with a twist. Really fun game. I'm actually running a Cyberpunk campaign on that right now. Really cool, intuitive game. But the woman that was demoing the table and the game was actually one of the writers/editors of the book for the new release of Savage World Adventures. Awesome company. Definitely check them out. That was, like I said, this was all within the first day that we were doing this. Like, got there before Gen Con even started. This is what was going on. Excellent, excellent company. So, moving on from there, they have another little company. This little rainbow ribbon here. Probably going to be really hard to see. But it's called Tabletop Gamers. Basically, it is make sure people feel like themselves during Gen Con. You know, they give out these badges. So, like, R says ally basically means, you know, if you're a gay gamer or tran or any of those, you know, LBGTB, you know, XYZ, as you keep going on and on and on. As one of the guys said during a podcast, basically, you guys can feel comfortable around us. You don't need to be, like, questioning whether or not we're judging you or anything like that, because we don't. You know, free open mind for us. And because of that ribbon, too, it did get us to talk with a lot of very interesting people during the weekend.
They also had pronouns.
Yes.
You could, if this was my pronouns.
So this was her pronouns, you know, she, her, and they actually had some for like the transsexuals, this what you identify as. So
they
awesome.
had they, them.
Yes,
yeah.
They, them. Very, very awesome company, guys. If you don't know much about them, check them out. They're trying to make sure that the world is more open and free, that everybody can be themselves. The other thing that was there at the Stink was we got this little dice here. If it'll zoom, it's going to be really kind of hard. Fans of GC. So it's a Facebook group, Fans of Gen Con. If you aren't checking them out, but you are interested in going to Gen Con,
with it?
Yes, they also had that ribbon. I did almost forget. Thank you, Dark. So fans of GC, basically what that is, it's a Facebook ran group that they usually get you information out before the actual Gencon website will. Because they have people that work there and they understand stuff before half the stuff can be released on the website. They're posting about it. So that was also really, really, really cool. The other company that I got to talk to is one that a lot of us here on Mixer, Twitch, all of us know about this program. I actually got to talk to the curator of this program while I was there too, and absolutely amazing guy. So, this program, haha, if I get the symbol up here, you guys will probably already know it. There you go, Extra Life. So, the charity event to help kids and everything. A lot of streamers do it. You guys know about Extra Life gaming to help children out. Talking to the curator, he actually says that over probably about 80 to 90% of their stuff are not even streamers. So if you think about that, that is a huge number there. If you think about how many streamers actually take part in this. So
another thing is the curator actually told us that every person that signs up gets the company $250.
Yes.
So just signing up, you can get $250.
Yes. So if you guys are interested in Extra Life, even if you don't stream or don't want to be super active in it, check out Extra Life, because if you sign up, it helps the company get money for those sick kids just for signing up. Awesome, awesome program, guys. And like I said, I got to talk to the curator. I actually noticed his shirt. I was commenting on it, and he actually told me he was the curator of the company and helps to do a lot of the charters. Awesome guy, guys. Definitely check him out. A lot of fun. All right, so now we're going to kind of move into our spoils as far as loot and everything goes as far as Gen Con. So that was kind of our opening experience of what we did. We also did a LARP there, which was kind of just like an emotional LARP that really tied you into your inner thoughts and really got to experience some crazy stuff. We played a game called Gone. Basically what this was is we had to have somebody that was tied to us that was gone. Our scenario ended up being a child that went away to college. So that was kind of tying into our thoughts and everything. Kind of fun and interactive, but really, like, it hit us at home, and I'm kind of glad we went to the hotel after that because I had a lot of reflecting to do.
It was a lot of emotional.
Yeah, very emotional game. But it was ran by a very awesome guy. You know, he helped us kind of defuse situations and stuff. Really cool. Sadly, it was a smaller group because it was later in the evening, but it was really fun. All right, so now as far as loot goes, if you guys don't know, Gen Con will constantly be giving stuff away. So if you get there, make sure you stand in line for that coupon book, because that coupon book will have stuff hidden in it that a lot of people won't know about. Yes, haha. So the coupon book, there's still a lot of coupons in here that we didn't get to use because a lot of it's just like percentage off games or save money here, save money there. So we didn't use all of them, but there was a lot of stuff that we actually got to do because of this. So the first thing that we got to do, we picked this up on Sunday because we kept trying to go. We went Thursday, they were sold out. We went Friday, they were sold out. We went Saturday, they were sold out. Finally, I was like, Sunday, we're going to wait in the crowd. We're going to do the running of the nerds, and we're going to be one of the first people in there to try to get this. So we talked to a company. They are called Visual Media. They release the Dwarves games. So they do like Dwarves Winter, Fall, and they're also getting ready to do a summer one here soon. And they were demoing that one. We got Dwarves Duel for free out of the coupon book. So me and Dark kind of got home, opened it up, tried it out. It's a cute little game. It's not really our style. It's also very cheap, which is why it was kind of a free game. It kind of gives you the introduction of what their games actually are. Interesting company, though. Really awesome people. We did talk to them for just a little bit the first day. And even though they were sold out of the free copies at first, they did want us to go ahead and use the coupon. We could have got so much off. We could have picked up like a $60 game for $40 if we really wanted to. But I didn't know a whole lot about these, and I didn't feel comfortable spending the money on something I didn't really know a whole lot about. Which I'm glad I didn't, because I don't really, like I said, it's not really my style of game or Dark style of game. It is fun. It's right genre of people. They would probably absolutely love it. Just not really our niche. Alright, so the other thing that we picked up, and this is going to be really hard to show. You guys might find these up on my wall here behind me at some point. But we got a couple huge maps. So that was one. Here's the other one. Alright, so if you guys are RPG fans like I am, absolutely love RPGs. This company has made a free adventure online, and these were the maps that tie into their adventure. The guy said the game's been running for about I think he said 25, 30 some years now. Life of me, I can't remember the name of the game now because it's something I hadn't really heard of and haven't looked into yet. But we got these huge maps for free, which is awesome because printed maps like this will usually run you upwards of about $50 to $60, even just on regular paper. So this is actually some really good paper here that they are printed on, excellent quality, and to get those for free was absolutely incredible. So really grateful that we did that as well. So the other thing I'm going to talk about, so they do a lot of different organizations and groups. So every year, Gencon chooses a partner to be their charity sponsors, basically. So a lot of the stuff that goes to charity during Gencon goes to one organization. This year, the organization is called Game to Grow. Try to get my fingers out of the way there so you guys can kind of see this. So, Game to Grow. What they are is it is an organization that's trying to help special needs kids with learning to play games, learning some social skills, things like that. And by special needs, we're talking about like autistic or some type of mental disability or even physical disability. And so, you guys know I absolutely love kids. I try to do everything in my power to make sure everybody feels welcome at tables and gaming and try to bring everybody in. Gaming to Grow is an awesome organization. I talked to one of the guys there that was talking about what the organization was for quite a while. Basically says a lot of the stuff they use is Dungeons and Dragons based to teach some basic math skills and social deductions and makes everybody feel kind of included because that is a very inclusive game. So he says that is one of their go-to things to set up. Awesome company, guys. If you guys want to find a good company to support, Game to Grow is an awesome one. While we are talking about companies, and I thought I had... Where'd my Game Alliance thing go? I had a card up here and I don't see it now.
Oh, I was going to show that one too.
So, Games to Grow, guys. Yes, we also got little bitty armbands. All kind of armbands this weekend as well. Games to Grow is one of them.
Right beside you.
It was absolutely incredible. So, while we're talking about awesome companies and ways to help people out, I ran into a booth that was simply called Indie Game Alliance. So, it's kind of hard to read their card because their actual text is right up here really small. But what Indie Game Alliance is it is for small game companies that can't afford publishing. So, it's like games that go under the radar that you never really hear anything about. Now, this is, again, referring to like board games. What Indie Game Alliance is they hire what they call minions, which I instantly signed up once I heard about this, so I am technically a Game Alliance minion now, Indie Game Alliance minion. But what it is you take small games that people haven't heard of, and they are a bunch of companies out there that are releasing games that a lot of people haven't heard of, even things I have not heard of. Once I started looking through their website, it's kind of amazing. But what they do is they were doing a $5 grab box as well. So we went ahead and paid $5. We got our game called Conquest of Orion, basically. Oron, yeah. So basically what it is, we took it back to the hotel, tried it out. It's a 4-player little card game, kind of trick taking. But what the Indie Game Alliance does for you is if you go out in the public and you play their games, in a sense, ones that aren't really published and everybody doesn't know a whole lot about, if you go into public and play these in like a park and you talk to people about it, or a game store, a local game store that you have set up, or even a hotel lobby if you're traveling, if you play these games out in the public and kind of give people an overview of it and let them try it, you get points. Sorry about that. You guys will get points, and that points will accumulate to allow you to get even more games. So if you guys are board game geek, kind of like I am, and want to check out some games that you probably haven't heard of or anything, definitely check it out because it is an awesome company. I am so glad that I became a minion, and I can't wait to really dig in some hours playing some board games with people. But sadly, I got some sad news today that our local gaming store is shutting down in 2 days, so I'm going to have to find somewhere to go play. So, yeah. Great news to come back to. All right. So, speaking of charities, fun events, and companies. Got a lot of loot here. So, Toys for Tots were set up as well in the exhibit hall. So, everybody knows what Toys for Tots is. They give donations to children to have toys or games. Since this was Gencon, they were doing a big giveaway for games. What it basically was is you got a blind box for $50, guaranteed $120 worth of profit in there. You got 5 games, and it gave away 5 games to kids in need. So, some of our loot, because we did get one of the blind boxes. I had to. You know me, I am a sucker for charities. So, help out kids, why not? So the first thing we got out of that is called I Can't Even with These Monsters. It is a little bitty cheesy kind of card game. Really fun. I want to find more of them because they make a whole bunch of I Can't Even games and you can combine them all together. It's all about trying to play cards, take away your opponent's cards, and score a bank of points. The interesting thing about this game is the highest odd number wins. So it's really fun trying... Yes, Dark, it's a really fun game, exactly. It is fun trying to get on the odd. Because one time I really thought I was going to win because me and Dark were playing this. I thought I was going to win. I was so far in the lead. At the very end, she took the one card I needed to be on odd and put me on even. And she was almost 20-some points behind me and won because she was on odd. So there is a twist to the game, but it is really interesting. The second game we got in that blind box is called Titans Tactics. So what Titans Tactic is, we haven't got to really play this one yet because it's a little bit heavier. But what it basically is everybody knows war games. A lot of people don't care for war games such as Warhammer or anything like that where you're actually measuring out and you're trying to measure out your moves and see if you hit and all that stuff. What Tactics does is it makes it on a smaller scale, easier to be played on a little bitty table. You have your set troops, 3 or 4 of them. You're just kind of moving across squares and attacking each other. So it's like a war game on a miniature scale. So I can't wait to actually get into this one and try it out. I haven't got to yet because, like I said, it is a little bit heavier and rule intensive like every war game out there is. I've played Warhammer a few times. Definitely not my niche, but Tactics might be kind of fun. One of our best games we got out of the box that we absolutely love. We can't wait to have a party and live stream this, hopefully with a Catch and Cookie one night, because you guys will have a massive laugh at that. And this game is simply called Voodoo. So, what this is a little bitty card party game. We got the base game, the one expansion that was out with it, and a bonus deck of cards for this game. So what this game is you start out with a pool of dice and you roll them for spell components. And everybody has curses in their hand. You can spend dice to get more curses, to get shop items to help you out with certain things. Or if you roll the dice components you need, you can cast a curse on someone. The reason this is such a fun little party game is you can make people act like absolute fools in this game. Or they lose points. You only play to 11 points. But if somebody doesn't do their curse, they get subtracted points. So I think in that one game, Dark ended up having me sit on the floor. I had to stand up and walk around my chair before I sat back down. And then I had to scratch my head and sigh before I passed the player marker over. And the other night we were playing it as well. One person had to cluck like a chicken before they rolled the dice. And squeak like a mouse. So, yeah, a little game for family. Kids absolutely love it. That is true, Dark. We did play with the kids a little bit. They were having a blast. If you can get them to sit still long enough. And even then, even if you can't get them to sit still, some of the cards have them move around.
And also, we were playing with 2 3-year-olds, and it suggested that the kids be like 8 or older. Even the 3-year-olds loved it and followed along with it.
Yeah, like I said, great little family game. I can't wait to try to have it with some of our older friends that never want to be crazy or never act crazy. Just to really be like, hey, you've got to do this now, or you're going to lose the game, and we're all super competitive. So it'll be a lot of fun. The last game we got in the Toys for Tot box was our big game from them. This one was worth, I think it was around like $80 or $90. So this already paid for the box itself. It is called Amun Ra. Kind of show you guys the back here. This one has not even been open yet. We haven't been able to bust this one open yet. I really want to try it. It's kind of a worker placement indie style game where you are trying to get plateaus to possibly build up pyramids because you're playing as a pharaoh, and you play through multiple eras. So the way that pharaohs are known is through their pyramids and their temples. So that's kind of what you're trying to do. In a sense, you're trying to get resources and build pyramids more than other people to win the game. That's just a brief overview of what I've seen because, like I said, I haven't got to really play it yet. I want to. I love worker placement games, so it should be kind of fun and interesting. It does have some decent weight to it. Looks really interesting. The problem is it's for 3 to... how many players did this thing say? 3 to 5 players. And usually it's me and Dark playing board games, so it's like I need an extra person. So, and if my gaming group comes over, they always want to play something else. It's hard to get my gaming group to sit down and play a worker placement game because they are a little bit heavy. Alright, so while we're still talking about games, I'm going to refer to all these here last. Alright, so refer to all these last. So, I'm going to go ahead and show this next one.
Here, wait a second.
I was going to get it out.
Oh, I was going to make it easier on you.
Yes. So, if you guys haven't been to Gencon, basically, you guys know it's all about board games and fun. The other thing it's about is artwork, artists, books, music, any kind of art out there. So, one thing that we did pick up, because we play a lot of deck builder games, is we picked up a little playing mat.
A little higher.
Yeah. Gotta cover myself up there so you guys can fully see it. But this one actually has the guy's signature down here.
No, it doesn't have
Oh, no, it's not a signature. Sorry, it's just printed on there. His name was Jim Pavili. Pavili? It's some weird name. Sorry, guys. But awesome artwork. Pivley? Okay. Yeah, we picked up that playmat for $10. They're usually sold for upwards of $50, $60. There were some there that were even more, like $100 and some dollars. Blows your mind if you think about trying to buy just a simple playmat. And the reason we picked that up and that style, that kind of horror, kind of Cthulhu style looking board, is because we picked up an expansion, standalone expansion, card deck builder game of Cthulhu, the Horror, and Dunwich. So we play a lot of deck builders, like a lot. I've played the DCs, I've played the Marvel deck builders. One of the other big ones that we didn't pick up this time, but we played a lot of, is called Dark Gothica. We'll go a little bit more on that later. But right now, Horror Dunwich. So this was, like I said, a standalone expansion. The original game came out quite a while ago. I don't know why I hadn't heard of it, because I love Cthulhu and all of the lore with Cthulhu. And we kept seeing this game like, oh, we want to try it. We want to try it. And it was getting close to the end of Gen Con. We haven't got to try it yet because they kept on filling up tables super fast. So we're like, you know what? $50, we're going to go pick it up. We love deck builders. So we bought it Saturday night, went to the hotel. Yeah, made me buy the, I tell you, I had to twist my arm, let me tell you. Went to the hotel, started playing it. The rules in the game were a little confusing. We had to go back the next day and talk to one of the guys that were running the demos. Like, hey, clear some stuff up for us because this didn't seem to work right. And one of the rules in the game is, it's called chaos. Basically what chaos means is you can officially break the game. And I essentially did that, which is why I thought the rules weren't done right. But he goes, oh no, there's the chaos thing in there. You can find a way to break the game for sure. And I found it. And it was really interesting. The fun thing about this game is it's the whole party versus the board. It's completely cooperative. Nothing competitive at all in this. I'm streaming. And basically what is going on is it's you versus the board. So you're drawing Elder Gods. You're playing through everything. Really interesting game. So like I said, Cthulhu of Dunwich. Check it out. We played this 3 times and only won twice. We played it again last night and completely got thrown out by Mythos cards. So Mythos have events that happen, and basically they can usually be really, really bad, which is in a sense what happened. Was we had to draw an extra Elder God and things just started spiraling downhill. So while we're talking about cards and artwork, we ran into this one booth. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, so give me just a second. His name was Grant Cooley. So Grant Cooley was an artist that we stopped to talk to. There's a little bit of his artwork. He basically, like his artwork, the reason it stood out to me is it's got that 3D pop to it. Really interesting guy, and we started talking about his artwork and everything. And we happened to be talking about an RPG that we had tried out, because we also did a playtest of an RPG. Can't really go into details because they're behind closed doors still. Just know that we did get a playtest a game and kind of give feedback, which to me was really interesting because I went to school for game design. So I love being able to try out games and give my thoughts and how to improve on them, because that's what I went to school for. So that's another reason why I love going to Gen Con, is to try out some of the stuff and really talk to the other developers in the industry to see what is working, what isn't working, what everybody's thoughts are, and what's changing. That has been my big thing. So, yes, this guy, like I said, really good artwork. One thing that happened while we were standing there talking to him is we happened to notice he had a deck of playing cards with his artwork on it. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. You know, I kind of like cards anyway. We'll play poker now and then, whatever. And we got talking to him. I'm like, you know, it's a little bit expensive for the deck of cards, though. But I'm like, you know, his artwork would make it worth it. And he goes, oh, no, that isn't a deck of cards. I was like, wait a minute. It's not a deck of cards. It's clearly, I mean, let me show you guys something. It's clearly a deck of cards. And he goes, oh, no, that's to my game that's being released. I was like, oh, you made a game? And he's like, yeah, we're going to be testing it out here at Gencon. You can get tickets for it. So I got online, started looking into it. Tickets were $2. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it out. Because I love this guy's artwork. We're going to see what this is. So, basically, this guy has made a whole world called Enoch. And you can actually buy his book on Drive-Thru RPG right now for $10 if you want to see more of his artwork. Beautiful stuff. But what he is making is an RPG game. I have to give him a huge shout out because they are doing something completely different. It was a little confusing at first, but then once you got the hang of it, you were rolling with it and having a blast. So basically what the game does is you use D6s and this deck of cards. So this deck of cards have really cool artwork on it, and they will tell you basically either you get to do an attack, or you have something bad happens, or something along those lines. And what you do is, it's all done through rolling D6s. So you're going to roll a D6, try to get above an armor class, but like if you have a second attack card that has a number 2 down here at the bottom, you have to roll, if anything 2 or lower on the D6, will do extra damage. So it's a very interesting concept. That game, I should be getting the rule book here before too long, because talked to the developer of it for about 2 hours, kind of going back and forth talking about ideas. And he said he definitely wanted me to get my hands on this game and play it with my group because he loved some of the feedback I was giving him. So once I get my hands on that, we'll definitely do a live stream of the world in Enoch. The other really cool thing about this is we paid $2 to try this game out. And because of that, we got this really cool postcard. So an 8x10 of this print was going for almost $45. And we got these postcards for paying $2 a piece to try out his game. And the other really cool thing is on the back, they had a blank spot. On that blank spot, we got to take back to the artist, and he drew myself and Dark original artworks. So he spent about probably 25-30 minutes drawing these up for us. Special artwork to us that nobody else is going to have. Just quick line drawings, but I tell you what, for $2, definitely worth it. So if you guys are interested, like I said, the world of Enoch is what the actual world is based on. He does have a book through Drive-Thru RPG right now for $10. If you guys are a fan of artwork, really cool looking artwork too, the 3D pop images like that, check their book out. Awesome company, guys, and I highly recommend checking out his artwork. And like I said, we will be doing a live stream of his game once it is fully released. So moving on from there, let's see, the other kind of big regular game that we bought. This one recently came out by Cosmos Games. Was called Roll for Adventure. So some people know this company for a game called Role Player. Basically, you roll dice and you're trying to make up a type of character that's dungeon diving. What this game is a cooperative dice rolling game to where you have to roll dice to fend off area of the lands that are being attacked by monsters by spending dice pools. And it has classes like in your typical fantasy games, fighters, wizards, sorcerers, all that stuff to play off of that give you special abilities. We did get to bust this one out and play with my gaming group the other night. A lot of fun. The pieces kind of didn't fit together as good as they showed us in the demo. But Roll for Adventure, guys, it wasn't really all that expensive. Of course, Gen Con, we also had discounts for this company to where they gave us 20% off all their products. So we picked it up. I don't even remember what we paid for it now. I'm thinking it was somewhere around $30. I think it was like $28 for this one. Awesome game if you guys want to check it out. Cosmos Games, Roll for Adventure. Awesome game. Very cooperative. So if you guys see a theme with us, we love these RPGs and cooperative games. So anything that we can be cooperative where we're not super competitive, because it really makes you dig into your mind and think about how is the board going to beat us this time and how are we going to basically go against it and use our thoughts. JSAV OP Jazovop. Thank you so much for that follow. You're now one of my infected. Appreciate it, good sir. So moving on from there, the last little game. I say little because this one's actually really huge in concept. that we picked up, this is probably my second favorite game company out there as far as board games. It's called Fantasy Flight Games. Pretty much everybody knows about them. They are a huge flagship in board games. And what we picked up was the starter set board game for Star Wars Edge of the Empire. It's their Star Wars RPG that use storytelling dice. Appreciate those sparks, good sir. But storytelling dice. So basically, we're going to definitely have to live stream this one. We kind of did a rough playthrough of some stuff that I found online just to see if we would like it. It was fun. Picked this up for a little bit of nothing at Gencon. It does originally sell for like $60. Yeah, like we got it for like $30. It usually does sell for $60, but if you guys like it and are interested, I might even run an online campaign for some people if it is something that you look interested in, because I can go online, change some dice around and things like that with my game developing skills. So, yes, Star Wars Edge of the Empire. The fun thing about this RPG is it's set in the Star Wars universe. Edge of the Empire was the first one they released, and then you have Rebels, Ultimate Alliance, and then you move into the Force Awakening. So basically you start off as like little bitty smugglers on the edge of the galaxy scraping to survive, moves up to like the big piloting space adventures where you're going against the Death Star and all that, into the Force Awakening where you start learning about Jedis and things like that. You can essentially play from the first one all the way to the last one. The reason this was worth it for us is we wanted the dice for the game because, like I said, it does take special dice. The dice alone were $15. This comes with a huge map, 2 adventure books, half the core rule book, and a dice set for 15 more bucks. Hey, you know what? Definitely. Oh, it also comes with starter characters too, so you don't even have to roll up characters to even try it out. Really fun. So while we're talking about games and loot and fun stuff, of course, you can't play RPGs without dice. I am a huge dice collector. We have dice galore from this Gencon. If I find a cool set of dice, we're picking it up. You like? Here. That's something about me. So this dice here is darks. This will activate under black light, and it shows like weird spectral, like kind of fiery effects in it, which is really cool under black light.
Things about this one. This is only in what is it? It's only in
beta.
Beta, yeah.
Yeah, they're not even out yet.
So they're not even out. And the awesome thing about it is, whenever they're under black light, it like shows flecks of like it was kind of like green, flecks of kind of green.
Yeah, flakes of green throughout it. It was really interesting looking.
Yeah.
Give me just a second here. I'm activating my dice real fast for some.
Here, why don't we go ahead and show mine?
Heavy light. So she'll show you a little bit more of hers while I'm getting mine set up. I got a really cool set of dice. So I will pull one out and kind of show you here. Mine are actually ready now. So this is kind of the set of dice I picked up. They were kind of like a really cool ice looking effect on them. So this is my D20 there. Really nice, crisp numbers. We usually get our dice from Chessex. If you guys are one of the company that we went to, Chessex Dice does some amazing work. So the set that I picked up, what's cool about them is once they're in the light for a while, I don't know if I can actually get this on camera because it's going to be really hard. But once it gets dark enough, if I can get it dark enough in there. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to do. But basically, mine glow in the dark, and they almost look like a pool of slime is running through them, which was excellent for Toxic Geek Gaming. I was like, yes. I had to get them.
Now, these are from ComCon.
Yeah, these are from ComCon. This is not a Chessex Dice. But Dark had to pick up another set because of... Unicorn Dice. The 20-sided dice for the 20 has a unicorn on it. And these are actually really cool too, because if you actually kind of, it's really hard to see on camera, but they're kind of a clearish purple with gold flakes in it and gold numbers. So those are the 2 companies we usually buy dice from. Really good companies, awesome people. So
yeah, mine are like really sparkly with a little bit of purple clouded through them.
Yes. So dice galore always has to happen. One other thing that we did, kind of going off game subject here, but one other thing we did was we sat on a panel that talked about podcasting and how to engage the audience, things like that, which was really interesting to me since I am an upcoming streamer. I actually stayed and talked to a few of the podcasters afterwards. One of the podcasters that were there, they run a little thing on Twitter called Thread Raiders. Awesome woman, outgoing as all get out, jumping around a lot, like screaming into mics. She was awesome. But yeah, shout out to everybody that did that podcast. They were incredible people. A lot of fun, guys. We definitely had fun in that podcast, learning quite a bit. The reason I really wanted to sit on it, if you guys don't know, I am part of Certified Gaming over here on Mixer. We are a community of streamers. We'll definitely be throwing up the Discord here in just a second, so you guys can check out the Discord. We're very active on it. And starting on the 15th, we are going to be doing a web show. So basically what that is it's going to be a... Oh, come on, where is it? There it is. So there's the Discord link, guys. Basically what this is our web show is going to be revolving around multiple topics. It's going to happen every 2 weeks. So if you guys want to learn more about Certified Gaming or us as a group, make sure to check us out on the Discord. That's where you can see us most active and learn about all of our stream team. Excellent people. We have people live most of the day, more towards the evening time. We have a few that are early morning and even some that are overseas. So check us out. A lot of fun streamers over there.
The free dice fair.
Yes. So yeah, make sure you do that. Which is why we said on that podcast. They said they're maybe stopping by. But if you guys don't know Thread Raiders, if you hashtag Thread Raiders in there, you might have something crazy happen on one of your Twitter posts. Basically, Thread Raiders kept a post going live for 6 months on Twitter just from comments alone, keeping it up in the top ranks. Awesome people. So the other thing that we got to do, Brother was there. It's a little company that does like embroidery machines and everything. They were giving away free dice bags, so we got some free dice bags again this year. But you know,
little company, it's a huge company.
I mean, Brother's a pretty big company. Don't get me wrong. But like anybody's giving away free dice bags, I respect that, especially at a gaming convention. All right, the last company that I've got to talk about and the last piece of loot, I'm gonna have to like work myself up here to pick this box up because we carried this around for 2 days, and I felt like, I don't know, I probably gained about 20 pounds in just pure muscle because of this huge game that we picked up. So before we even get started on this, I'm gonna tell you guys our favorite company as far as board games go. And I should be having a pen on this if I can find it.
It's right there.
Aha, there they are. Yes. Here, I don't even need it up there. I can just show them on the camera. Never mind, that works. So, absolute favorite board game company, if you guys do not know of them, Flying Frog Productions. So, Flying Frog Productions, they are the ones that make Dark Gothica, which we told you is one of our favorite deck builder games. Yes. So this is not something we picked up this year. We picked this up 2 years ago at Gencon. Dark Gothica. It's kind of a horror...
Gothic.
Yeah. Dark Gothic. I always call it Gothica. It's a horror-themed deck building game from Flying Frog Productions. And they release an expansion at least, it seems like, once a year. We have every expansion for it as well. Like, absolutely love the game. But the big purchase for us this year at Gencon... So we always go through Flying Frog and test out their games. We like most of them, but don't like them enough to really spend money on them. But we got hooked again this year, guys. We had to pick up another big game from Flying Frog. And this is one that my gaming group absolutely loves. They came over the other day. This is the game that we had to bust out and play with them. And it is going to be a reoccurring thing. That game is called Shadow of Brimstone. Happens that we picked up the Swamp of Death edition. They also have a City of Something edition out now as well.
City of the Ancients.
City of the Ancients. Thank you, Dark. I knew she would correct me. The Swamp one.
There's also Forbidden Forest.
Yes, Forbidden Forest. Kind of all off the same theme. Forbidden Forest is more samurais, where City of the Ancient and Swamp of Death are both a Western style type game. So in this game, what you do is you make a group of adventurers, just like in D&D, and you're going to go exploring mines, in a sense, in this one. And in this version, you can also go to the Swamp of Death through portals. Very Cthulhu-ish. In fact, they have a Cthulhu monster you can add to this game as an add-on. So this...
A lot of tentacles in this game.
Yeah, a lot of tentacles in this game. But it's really fun because you can actually grow your characters. You can go all the way up to level 8. It takes forever to even try to level up. It is a blast seeing what kind of crazy stuff you can get into. This is where my big shout out for Flying Frog Production is going. So we've loved the company. They've always been good to us, even testing out their games, and been really friendly with their staff. Also, their artwork in their game is amazing because what they do is they actually like have people at the studio of their workshop dress up in the periods of clothing and take their picture and then graphic that onto cards and images and 3D miniatures that get 3D printed. So it's all their workers for the artwork of this game.
No, it's for the artwork.
For their artwork for Dark Gothic.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that game
incredible.
Is actually all pure art. That
No,
has nothing to do
some of
with
it is, some of it isn't, because they also, even their game, Zombie, what's their zombie game?
I was
Last
talking
Night on
about
Earth.
Just Shadows of Brimstone is all pure art.
Zombie of Brimstone is all art.
Yeah,
so.
it's not pictures, it's all art. Because the character cards are art, and their character cards are really, really extensive.
Yes.
Like, there's a backstory, like, extensive backstory on the character cards, and they're, like, really good, and...
So, like I said, though, this is where my shout out for Flying Frog Productions. So we picked this game up. Swamp of Deaths, they had 4 copies left. Last 4 copies probably going to be made for they don't even know how long. Because their company that was printing this game and publishing it for them, they talked to them, they're about 6 months out right now and don't even have any more copies planned. Online, this game's retailing for $200 to $300 right now, depending on which website you look at, because it's so rare and everybody wants it. We picked it up for $100. Definitely worth it for us. I support Flame Frog like crazy. This is where my problem came in and how they helped us. So we got this game, took it back to our hotel. First thing we did was bust it open and we're excited to play it. We're missing half the pieces in this box. You've probably seen steam coming out of my ears that night because I opened it up and I'm like, we're missing 3 characters. We're missing a monster card. We're missing like at least 1 or 2 things in miniatures and bases. Luckily, all the cards were there. So
this game is probably 20, 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, this thing, like, I mean, it weighs a lot. So, lugged it around.
It for half a day.
Yeah, we lugged it for half a day around Gencon. We're getting tired. We called it an early night to go back to the hotel. The reason I got so mad is I lugged it back around Gencon for another whole day because we took it back. Whenever we took it back, they were super nice. They didn't even need to see the game. They didn't even question it because they said they feel bad because this happens in about 1 in 30 or so games that they get because they produce them over in China and send them over. So, they didn't even look in there and they were like, we're sorry. They instantly gave us a $10 credit on whatever we want, which is why we picked up the new expansion for the Dark Gothic game because it was $10. Got that for free. Got a few tubes of glue for free for the miniatures. So, they really took care of us. We left. We were satisfied with that. No problem. But we got to talking. It was Sunday. We were getting ready to come home. And we're like, our gaming group really wants to play this game. And we can't play it because we're missing half the characters. So we go back to Flying Frog Productions. And we pick up 2 character expansion packs. One was the Darkstone Shaman. And one was the Frontier Doctor. So everybody knows Dark, knows that she loves playing the healers and the doctors in games to keep everybody alive and things like that. And I'm always a weird, crazy magic user. The Shaman basically plays as a druid. I can shapeshift into bears and stuff. It's really cool. What happened, though, was they gave us a business card whenever we told them we missed some parts, tell us to email Chris and tell him what was going on. We went back Sunday. We ran into Chris. Because we were talking about it, and Chris goes, oh, so you emailed me. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're Chris. I think I talked to him once before. I didn't know he was standing there because his back was turned to me. But he heard me say his name, and he kind of turned around. So it was really interesting. I got to talk to him. He took personal notes of what I was missing and everything. And before we even left the booth with those 2 things, which they also gave us discounts on again to make sure that we were well taken care of, they went to their demo set since they were closing down in a couple hours anyway, took the cards off the demo set and said, we'll shut that demo down. Here you guys go. You guys now have all your character sheets that you need to play the game. So you guys can go home and enjoy it. The only thing we're missing now is 1 monster.
No.
Hey.
We're missing...
Well, we're missing a monster and some pieces, but like the actually play the game, we're missing 1 monster card.
Yeah.
Which I could probably look an image up online if I really needed to. Best game ever. If you love playing Dungeons and Dragons, want a little bit different theme like Wild West or Samurais, check these games out because it is Dungeons and Dragons where you do not need a DM. It's you versus the board, and it gets crazy. Absolutely crazy. A lot of fun. The setup takes a little bit, but once you get it set up and start playing, man, how long did we play the other night? At least 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
In the first game, and it was a small game. It was like 3 rooms, and it took us 2 to 3 hours. Of course, we were learning the rules and explaining the rules to some of the other people and really going in and referencing the rule book. But this game can go to where you have small maps where it's 2 or 3 rooms, up to where you have like 13 to 14 rooms in this mine. And the interesting thing about this game is it gets harder as you go on, and you're never safe. Like in D&D,
your character is your own. You can actually make your character the way you want.
So the interesting thing, I don't know if the rule book's here on top. I don't think it is. If it is, I'll kind of show you. Nope, it's not.
It's on bottom.
Yeah, it's on bottom. I can't dig through everything to get all that. But basically, as you level up, you have a skill tree, just like you do in a video game, to choose all your skills and everything. Very interesting, guys. Once I get this fully set up, I get all my miniatures in, we get them all pieced together, and I get them all painted. I might do a live stream of it where it'll be more interactive for you guys. Because right now we were like using poker chips and dice and things to represent where we were on the board. Not the most interesting, but we play D&D in Theater of the Mind anyway, so it worked perfect for us. But yes, this company, if you guys haven't checked them out, Flying Fox Productions, they are absolutely incredible. Definitely my favorite board game company out there. Right behind, or right in front of Fantasy Flight Games, which I own a ton of their board games as well.
So, my favorite is always Z-Man.
Yeah. Dark's favorite company is Z-Man. If you guys don't know Z-Man, then you guys don't know board games because they're the ones that make Pandemic. And all the Pandemic Legacy games. Dark, being the person that likes to heal all the time anyway, loves the idea of curing the whole world. So, Pandemic is her favorite game.
That I really like is Exit the Game.
Yes. Well, yeah. We got a bag. So the one that also made Roll for Adventures, if you guys like escape rooms or anything like that, they make a game called Exit the Game. And there is a lot of them out there.
Yeah, a lot of them. And like all of them have their own level of expertise. It depends on if you're a beginner, if you're an expert. Do you like these exit games? Do you just beginning these exit games? But there's like every sort of exit game out there for each person.
And they're all themed differently.
Yeah.
The problem is with me, with those exit games, and just like escape rooms, once you do it, one and done. Hey, I know the answers. I don't have to play it again. It's decent if you have a group that will, like a smaller group that can like, one person runs through it and then you trade it off, and then one person runs through it and then you trade it off. That would be really interesting to see how long you guys can compete and see who does it the fastest. Would be a really interesting concept for a game like that. But it's not my style of game. I'll probably spend 3 days trying to figure one thing out because I am not good at puzzles. I'm really good at making puzzles and confusing people. I'm not good at seeing a very obvious answer in front of my face. But yes, so guys, that was Gen Con and all of our loot. Awesome year, awesome honeymoon. Like I said, from here on out, whenever we go back, more than likely we will be working with Stronghold Foams. I think is what they were called this year again. Yeah. I think it's what they're going to finally keep their name as. Helping you guys make all kind of foam weapons, big foam weapons, chainmail classes, leatherworking. Check us out if you guys go to Gen Con and you guys actually make it there. Go to the stadium. Check out Stronghold Foam. Group of awesome people. You know, we're usually dressed in like medieval attire anyway. Helping you guys out. Have fun and enjoy Gen Con as well. This was the first year we went where we didn't work. I personally had a blast, but I would rather work because it kind of kept my mind at ease. Not worrying about the hotel, not worrying about where we're staying, trying to get the badges. I'd rather go work for 4 or 5 hours a day and enjoy the rest of my day than have all day to run around.
Also, there's another shout out. I don't know if you want to include this, but Lyft was actually partnered
Lyft. Yes. Forgot all about that. Yes. So you guys know Uber and Lyft, I'm sure. If you guys are from a bigger city, you guys know about them. Lyft was partnered with Gen Con this year. They gave us huge discounts for getting back and forth to our hotel because we were actually 4 miles away from downtown. So big shout out to the Lyft company. We were going to use Uber and we're kind of freaking out about the prices, but we ran into someone that was sponsored through Lyft and they told us how they were sponsored through Gen Con and gave us a bunch of discounts. Big shout out for them. So the other big fun thing about Gen Con, as you guys might know, gaming is always fun, but you have to take a break at some time and you have to eat. So make sure that you at least have 2 meals a day, wake up, have breakfast, and then stop to eat. Depends on who you talk to. Nelly will tell you never go to the food trucks because there's always a line and it's overpriced. Me? I will tell you go to the food trucks.
love the food
The
trucks.
the line, yes, you're gonna stand in line, but you know how many interesting people you get to talk to whenever you're standing in line at a food truck? Like 1 year we talked to an attorney, 1 year we talked to a state senator, 1 year I even talked to a guy today that was from a little honky tonk town somewhere, basically, like us little country boys. You never know who you're gonna talk to. There's one barbecue truck that's there. If you happen to run into me, get with me. I'll show you where the truck is. Best barbecue that you will ever have. I promise you. It is absolutely amazing. Every time we go, we have to have that barbecue truck at least once. They are amazing. That's shut out as far as food. Now, there was another truck there with the food trucks that wasn't giving away food. They were, it's going to be really hard to read because this cup is so shiny, but we bought us a nice little tankard. And basically, it was for a company called Kill Billin'.
No. Oh, it's Wild Bill.
Oh, it's called, why did I say Kill Bills?
I don't know.
I keep calling it Kill Bills. Sorry, guys. It's called Wild Bills. My bad. Wild Bills old-fashioned soda. So basically, they had their truck set up like an old saloon with barrels sticking out like kegs where you could go and on tap have the old-fashioned sodas. I think we paid $35 for the tankard, and it was, I think, $15 for a 4-day event to get free refills all weekend. I can't tell you how many times we were standing in line just waiting to fill this mug up because they had like grape and cherry and root beer and diet root beer and
cream soda. They had.
It was incredible. If you guys want to see what's going on there, Randy Panda, how you doing today? But yes, guys, so like I said, Gencon, a lot of fun. We got a lot of loot. Got to talk to a lot of awesome people.
And we got a lot of pins.
We got a lot of pins. Got to do a lot of fun experiments with games. Yes, I kind of showed off the pins a little bit ago. The pins are incredible. If you guys are someone, though, that likes to test out games, definitely recommend going because they do have that. What was it called? What was the actual event called where we actually went to try out a game? I don't remember the name of it now. Can't think. But basically, it was an event to where... Yeah. Basically, we tested out a game that wasn't even out yet and gave feedback. And like I said, the Enoch's World with that artist was another game that nobody even really knew about. Awesome. Can't wait to really get my hands on that rule book and dive in. Maybe to even do a live stream or two for you guys to really show you how the game is played. Get you guys more interested to help this guy out because he was absolutely an awesome guy. Yeah. Next year, Jim.
It was something about Nor, the guy that we.
Yeah, I don't know what his name was, but the artist was Jim. Remember Jim. But yes, guys. Like I said, if you guys are ones that like charity events and like board gaming and just hanging out with people and having fun and don't mind crowds, highly recommend you guys going to Gen Con. It is wonderful. We had so much fun. We cannot wait to go back next year, but like I said, next year we will be working just because it relieves so much stress off of me. I was so stressed trying to plan and tickets and running and basically trying to get the wedding planned and then trying to get the honeymoon planned with Gen Con. I feel like I ran myself into the ground, which is why I haven't been streaming so much here lately. I had to take a few days, reflect on myself whenever I got back, just to get my mindset right again. Took a nap, a well-needed nap, because I was so exhausted from non-stop running for almost 2 weeks. But it was a blast. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. There's also a VOD up of the costume parade, cosplay parade. If you guys are interested in that, I do have a VOD up. It's not the best quality because we got there a little late. I was trying to film between some people's shoulders to get the best image that I could for you guys. Whenever we go back, I'm hoping to have a better setup, a little bit more for vlogging. I hope to do more vlogs because it was fun. I love being on the run and talking to everybody and having fun in these like just chatting channels and hanging out with you guys. But we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming after today. Today is supposed to be my off day, but it's just been crazy and I haven't streamed for a while. I really wanted to get this video out for you guys. But if you guys are interested in seeing more from me, I do try to live stream every night from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Mixer at Toxic Geek Gaming. You can also follow me on Instagram at Toxic Geek Gaming, where the O is a 0 in Toxic. I'm also on Twitter at Toxic Geek Gaming as well. So basically, the people that follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter were getting constant updates while we were at Gen Con, just because it was so much easier for me to pop an image up of what was going on, or pop an image up of what was happening, or tweet something out that was going on. It was so much easier for me to do that than try to set up my phone to do a live stream, because it was nonstop running. And one day we walked almost 12,000 steps, like, because my phone tracks steps like most people's does. And I felt overwhelmed and exhausted and was ready to pass out by the end of it. But it was a lot of fun. What do you think, Dark? Was it worth it?
A lot of simulation. Like, I actually, I have anxiety in crowds, and I had a lot of anxiety, and it, like, overstimulated, and it also, like, wore me down a lot. Because I was overstimulated.
And because she got wore me down even more, trying to deal with her and schedules and events and running. And so, yes, I do recommend, if you guys do go, try to get a group of people, stay at a close hotel so you guys can take a minute off, go take a nap, go unwind. Our problem was we were so far from the hotel, we had to take a lift in and out. We didn't get that downtime, which really wore down on us. And if you talk to anybody that does Gen Con right, they will tell you have a hotel attached to the convention center, because you need that time to yourself. And being so far away, we didn't.
Whenever we actually had our hotel that was closer, we went back and forth between our hotel room, and I felt like we stayed out longer, we had more fun, even though we did work.
Yes.
And it was more.
Also, if you guys are interested in trying to work at Gen Con, which is an awesome way to go, contact any company that's going to be there, or even contact Gen Con staffing. They try to hire people for event staffs that just help direct people, or even things like that. The other way to go about it, the way that I highly recommend, try to get a hold of a game company. You know, look up Flying Frog, find a way to contact them, or Flying Frog usually does their own stuff, so it's hard to get in with them. But find one of the bigger companies that doesn't have a whole lot of people that are going to be at the convention, and try to go demo for them. It's a lot of talking. You've got to learn the game, and you just sit there all weekend long for 4 or 5 hours a day, just talking to everybody that walks by. Hey, I want to check out the game. Let me teach you how to play. And you're just doing this over and over and over and over again.
I can tell you.
But I tell you what, that would be one of the best ways to enjoy Gen Con, is just sitting there demoing a game.
A lot of things that draw us in, anyways. People that
are very
doing
charismatic.
the demos of the game, and they took the game and they actually were part of it.
Yes.
And they actually acted like they were part of it.
Be charismatic. Be outgoing. Like I said, if you guys want to go, highly recommend working, because working just gives you so much more benefits than just showing up as a guest. I mean, showing up as a guest is great. Don't overbook yourselves. Like, we barely booked anything and we overbooked ourselves. Like, we had an event maybe one every 3-4 hours, and one day we had like nothing, and we still felt like we were running around like chickens with their head off.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how easy it is to get overstimulated in something like that. So I do recommend hotel attached. Recommend working, because it will keep your mind set and steady. And like I said, a lot of those people are volunteers. So you're like, oh, why would I want to volunteer my time for that? Well, you're getting a 4-day pass usually to Gen Con, which is $100. $120. They usually put you up in a hotel. If they put you up in a hotel, you're buku's amount of money right there already. So yeah, you may not get money, like a paycheck, but the benefits are what's paying you. So I highly, highly recommend that. Well, guys, that about wraps it up for our Gen Con wrap-up, my thoughts, Dark's thoughts, and all of our wonderful loot from this year. Like I said, we still got some unwinding to do and craziness, and it is supposed to be my off day, so it is a little bit shorter stream tonight. We should be back tomorrow with our regularly scheduled programming of playing games and hanging out and, you know, just our normal relax, chill vibes like usual. And don't forget about the web show coming up on August 15th with Certified Gaming, and then one every 2 weeks from there on out. Make sure you guys check us out. Also, if you guys are interested, there is a channel going around now called Certified Gaming. since they're doing away with teams over here on Mixer. If you guys haven't heard about that, we actually made a channel for us that just goes around hosting all of our community and our streamers and stuff. So you can go to that one channel, not really like a channel one, but similar to it for our community and our streamers. So check that out as well. Make sure you throw them a follow, guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. As we always say over here, keep it toxic, keep on gaming, and we will see you guys tomorrow.